RingGangRadio.com. Take over. Last mission. Final boss mode. What it do? Speaking, but keeping the subject on training, what do y'all feel about Nacho Beristain going in on Canelo like that?
My immediate thought when he started going off, I just heard the beat to Hit 'Em Up playing as he started saying those words.
I ain't got no motherfucking friends. Canelo.
I mean, it wasn't like he has his own opinion. I mean, it's not like he's lying. I mean, like, cause I know usually the thing to say is that Canelo has a lot of Mexican fans. He's really beloved. And
He's the Cotto for Mexico, bro.
Yeah, it's basically not. I mean,
Nah, that's not true. Because I've been to Mexico and I talked to Mexicans down there. They don't really fuck with him like that down there. Well, a lot of his Mexican fans are younger and girls and shit.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's De La Hoya for Mexicans then.
I was gonna say he's Drake for Mexicans.
I'm to be honest, like down here, like Cotto ain't really get the love like Tito got, so that's why,
Same here.
I've been to work with a dude who he was younger than me. He went to he was from the same city Cotto was born in. Cotto made appearances at his damn middle school and everything. He's seen Cotto a bunch of times, and it's like, but his family love Trinidad. So I mean, I just look at it, but shout out, they all legends, but yeah, I feel like
Cotto is more like like Trinidad has like that personality, that like he was so charismatic that it was different. It was different.
Well, that Trinidad was not a weirdo like Cotto is. Cotto is an actual weirdo. And
I mean, even if you take away the weirdness and stuff like that, like he's just very aloof. Like
yeah.
Weird.
Like, it's like fire. He's the ice to Tito's fire. The fire night.
And
dry ice. Like I don't do it.
I mean, it was more. I mean, yes, he's aloof or whatever, but he's still a weirdo. Like you could have really connected with him. Like, I mean, them 24/7s did a lot of harm to what what Cotto was actually like.
Yeah, the 24/7 did harm to him, like how Twitter does harm to a lot of these rappers.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally anybody on Twitter, actually.
Yeah, well, almost. I mean, Ring Gang does pretty good.
Yeah,
because we know better.
Yeah, but yeah, and that's what made. I mean, if obviously there was not 24/7 for when Felix Trinidad was doing this thing or whatever. I don't even remember if there was any real significant pre-fight specials for any of Tito's fights. I mean, except from the shit that happened before his fight with Barrera Hopkins. I mean,
that was all B-Hop.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. But
that could legit be a movie documentary. The whole up to 9/11, postponement, all that shit. Like the old flag.
And Cotto was just a weirdo. I mean, who did love things that people. I mean, at that time, Cotto didn't really bother me that much. Other than I was like, man, this dude is a weirdo. I mean, it was later on in his career that obviously I got tired of Cotto. And I'm like, Cotto's out of the sport. Good for him. Happy retirement. Fuck you.
I was gonna say, I hear like.
Damn, you would have think Beristain talked shit about Cotto and not Canelo the way we are.
I know.
Like, somebody listen to it, like, damn. What he said about Canelo? I mean, what he say about Cotto again? Like, nah, man, you just don't like Cotto. But yeah, back to Canelo.
Yeah, the way I also looked at it when Nacho Beristain was giving that kind of comment, it's, to me, like, it just strikes as somebody who's just like he's from that generation where he saw fighters fight and they would grind their way to get up to the top. And he's not wrong in the sense of just like, he even admitted, he even says it's a good call that Canelo's just managed well.
Yeah, because he said he feels like
he managed excellently, nigga. It ain't no fucking managed well is like, let me see, Terrence Crawford's managed well.
oh boy.
You said what? There I go. What?
I said, oh boy.
I mean, who else is managed well? We could throw some names out.
I just knew you were going to mention Terrence Crawford.
Is he not managed well?
He's managed, let me see, medium well.
I'm just saying, like, Canelo, if management was a scale with the 1 through 10, Canelo's at like 10.5, 11 or some shit.
Yeah.
I mean, we've met some management stands, so they'd probably be the best answers for that.
Like, Chris John would be like, no, shit, fucking Marquez would be like 5 or like 4. Or Chris John would even be 6.
Marquez, they were just like, oh, you want to know where the next fight is? Just go down all these shady blocks right there. You'll find it right there.
Oh, hold on, you don't want to fight Pacquiao again? Nah, okay, we got to fight for you. Hold my beard.
Yeah, but
3 months later, you in some random jungle.
But I mean, Beristain was right though. Like I said, because he felt like Canelo was being, the Canelo and management were keeping away from certain fighters in the divisions. He's right.
Hell yeah. He didn't fight his first puncher until Golovkin, and he prolonged that like so long. Like, come on, like,
yeah.
I feel like Bernstein was spot on, but people would say he a hater.
Right, because it's just like this and that, and because because Beristain's from the old generation, and like I said, and even like the like Marquez and Morales, they're not Canelo fans.
No, because like they know what they went through, and they're just like, why didn't Canelo see something like that early on as well?
Yeah.
Nah, it's not about the going through. It's like Canelo hasn't had the type of breakthrough performances that all these guys had. He hasn't transcended in not one damn fight, bro. Cotto is the best performance he's had, and even then, everyone kind of expected him to do better.
Oh no, I'm not going against that. I'm just saying, like, because those guys had to run to somebody who made them have to like perform. Canelo, like you said, it wasn't until like way later, and even then, it did not come out.
Well, that's the thing. Canelo runs into people that makes him perform, but plot armor kind of works that out. That's when your management is on fleek. When that shit's at 10.
The power of friendship.
Think about it. If Canelo would have got one more L in his career, we'd probably have a better fighter by now. Since everybody says he improved so much after losing to Floyd.
Yes.
So I mean, if he would have lost again, Canelo would be like all-time great now, right?
Yeah, personally, I would say like after the first Golovkin fight, if he just took that L, you probably have a more aggressive version of him in the second fight.
Yeah,
like who would be throwing more regardless of his gas tank.
And look how good the second fight was. But he would have probably actually won the second fight clean too. Then if that's who knows. Mm-hmm. Remember, even after the Floyd fight, it's not like he went back to damn, fight somebody great again. Like Angulo?
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's a heavy bag. You fought a master boxer, then you fight a heavy bag afterwards.
The best part about that fight is everybody said that before the fight. You could hear in the commentators during the fight. They were just like, the venue was just like, this is one of the most expensive gyms we've ever been to. There's people watching. They have referees. And this is like one of the most highest quality heavy bags you've ever seen. One that punches you back.
Barely punches you back. But it'll follow you around the ring in a good moderate pace where, you gotta really throw some combinations. And if you hit it in certain spots, the bag makes a noise.
Ooh.
So I mean, damn. So it's like I feel where he's coming from. I know it, and he was tactful, but you know, dude's gonna still say he hate. But the thing is, people always get at people and be like, well, you know, Canelo, like I hate when people try to act like Canelo doesn't get the benefit of the doubt, or he doesn't have the whole machine behind him. Like, people used to bitch and moan about Jermaine Taylor being fucking HBO creation, all this, that, where he won the damn Hopkins fight way cleaner than any fucking high profile Canelo fight had.
Facts.
Yep. And
so it's
even
like
in the second fight, he started the second fight like it was the 12th round on.
So, so I'm like, come on, like I don't get it, like, and he's had as many fucking damn, you know, dud performances as Canelo's had.
It falls down to like people's biases, and like people want to defend who they naturally like, even though they don't have to.
Yeah, and that's what it always comes down to, bias. It's always the bias.
Like, he even has there's even a legit like a legit excuse for like him winning the second Golovkin fight. Almost every, like 90% of the time I hear someone who say Canelo won that fight, they have to mention Mexican style or some other bias shit in it, and I'm like, hold on, like, are we fighting with narratives, or are we just watching these niggas box and we scoring the fight?
Me and LBF talked about this multiple times too.
No, that's like the niggas who, I mean, because this is the thing, when Floyd had the lead ups and he would say, well, I'm gonna knock this dude out, I'm gonna beat his ass, and then he get in there and play tag with a motherfucker for 12 rounds. No, there's no outcry of people like, man, Floyd should have knocked him out, man. Yeah, it's, man, come on, nigga, it's Floyd. Like, you knew better. But it's all some different shit with Canelo. It's like, well, I mean, the other guy said he was gonna kill him, and Canelo kind of stopped it from happening. So hey, yeah, I mean, if you a killer, you kill niggas, right? Like, so I'll just be like, yo, why this shit is always the opposite way for this dude? Like,
if anything,
you respect the guy who won the gift decision. I respect the guy who got robbed, type shit. Like,
yeah, if anything, I would say it was just a fun fight. That second fight, anyway. The ending was weird, but otherwise, like, it was a fun fight.
End of the day, for the type of press and level, treatment, management, everything, when you factor in plot, armor, everything that makes Canelo who he is.
Management, give me your energy.
Management assembled. When you factor in all, that shit, I promise you almost feel like Canelo should have had like 7 fight of the year type shits. Like,
fact.
Like you would think he would have like some crazy, unforgettable knockouts on the top level type shit. Like where's the damn Virgil Hill body shot KO? Like,
it doesn't exist. It does not exist.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Schrodinger's boxer. It exists and doesn't exist at the same time.
Like, I'm just like, that's how I look at it. But you know, people gonna be like, man, you know, Shuttleworth trained with Bernstein. I seen that nigga in Mexico, and I ain't never been on that side of the country. I ain't never been on that side. I mean,
stop mixing up with Keith Thurman.
Yeah, man, we seen Keith Thurman there.
Funny.
But no, I'm good. I couldn't be in Canelo gym. I had too much jokes for Andy Ruiz. So.
I actually have a friend who's actually trained with Canelo's team before, so he said it was a good time. He said Canelo even gave him bits of advice.
He speaks Spanish.
Wow. Get better management? Like, he gave him his card?
I guess you're technically right, because that gym pretty much snatched him from the gym from the city. So I don't know how to feel about that one joke he said.
See, I be ringing, be spitting that real shit. Like, we telling you real shit. Like
he was.
We legit set it up. Like damn, like, that really happened?
Yeah, my friend was like already set up as like a decent fighter, but otherwise one of the things I liked about him is just like, okay, like they had him test out, like, you know, they obviously, because he's coming in from undisclosed location, so like, oh, let's test the guy. So it's like, let's test him, give him some live guys, and he was just beating the shit out of them. So it was just like, okay, we like you about that. So it's just like, you know what? You have fight in you even when you're in a bad position, and more importantly, you speak Spanish fluently. That's even better.
Oh damn, okay.
Yeah, like his debut
Kofi
fight.
locked.
His debut fight, he took out his guy with the liver shot.
Oh, damn.
Definitely.
Yeah, but otherwise, no. Like Canelo actually had him as a sparring partner for the Kovalev fight.
Damn, we probably saw some better sessions in that than the whole fucking Kovalev fiasco.
I'm not going to like add anything beyond that, but let's just say there is some accuracy in that statement.
you know damn well that statement accurate as fuck. I'm like, I'm on a roll, bro.
I am saying allegedly.
Everything is just getting hit. Like, bro, I'm not saying it was as good as the women's boxing match that was on that card that night, but I know you had some heat in that session.
Yeah, but yeah, the women's fight stole that card altogether.
Yeah.
Two girls
Wow,
who hated each other.
So that's crazy. We'll see. I guess what happens in the Canelo sweepstakes when he comes back, and we'll see. And I guess the next episode of Bernstein pointing out all Canelo's flaws and truths.
Which I'm sure will be a good podcast to really go over.
The best part is, like, Canelo fans will be pissed about Bernstein, but the way Canelo has said about like how much he appreciates boxing, he'd probably be the guy who'd like take notes about Bernstein. Says like, "Oh, I need to fix this," and he'll start scribbling down. They're like, "I'll try." I didn't say he'll do, but he said he'll try.
That's the thing. Canelo is skilled. He's an excellent boxer, but it's just certain
Aspects
points of execution of those skills that are kind of. Because if you was to say Canelo's not skilled, like people would say, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can't. I'm like, people could say like, yeah, you should always give Canelo a hard time, but I'll never say he trash. He not a boxer. He, dude is high level.
It's just as he's had conversations with some other boxers, why not finish it?
Exactly.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, that's all I'm looking at it. Like if you look at Monster, if he had the management of Canelo, or he, same situation, bruh, much bigger.
Yep. In fact, his last fight with Donaire was like, whew, that was like quality.
High quality.
So yeah, fight of the year. So
that was actually the old head versus the young cat fight we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I doubt Broner Floyd would have looked that good. But I think that would end up being decent. It'll look better than the Berto fight. I tell you that.
If people did not expect things to go through the Berto Floyd fight the way it did, I don't know what to say.
Facts. They're like no expectations.
I only had one moment of sympathy for Berto in that fight because the bar I went to, there was a guy legitimately from Haiti there, and I was just like, "Do you at least appreciate the sport?" He's like, "Yeah, I do." I was just like, "I feel you, man. I feel you." He was literally the only guy with like a Haiti like headband and things like that. I was just like, "Dude, you're sticking out."
Them niggas don't got nobody now that Stevenson's gone. Who the fuck from here? Oh, they still got Lubin. Latch on to Lubin.
Well, they still got Pascal too, but he's still.
Oh, that barely counts. Fuck.
Nah. No. You gotta put respect on Pascal.
I know. Let me not disrespect Pascal, but he's on his way out. The fuck.
He should.
Yeah, we thought so, but he's on his way back in.
Yeah, that's the thing about Pascal. It's just like if he fights, he's just like he
The
just
dude had Dude had like a legit upset of the year and a fucking fight of the year in the same year.
He's that nightmare that won't go away. Fuck. This nigga's
it's an entertaining bad dream.
Yeah. It's a bad dream. You're like, yo, that was a bad dream. But it wasn't that bad, though.
Alien Love was the nightmare that wouldn't go away. Pascal kind of got bored with Pascal, but then it came back on TV with like some new shit, and you're like, oh, hold on, whoa, you seen the new shit? Like,
he's juggling now?
yeah. Oh, you seen the Lucas Brown fight, bruh?
Yeah, that fight did not go the direction.
Oh, I said Lucas Brown, fucking the Marcus Brown.
Marcus Brown.
Marcus Brown, yeah, Marcus Brown.
Yeah,
that fight was just like, because everybody's just like, oh, Marcus Brown, the younger guy, like Pascal's on his way up. Pascal's like, nah, fuck that.
Bruh, if Pascal had Salido stamina, like conditioning,
oh my god,
I think he wouldn't have some of those L's on his record.
If he had Salido stamina, he'd also be a landlord and an Uber driver.